What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Fat Thor Gaming. I am your boy Fat Thor, back with you again to bring you another Marvel Strike Force video. Guys, they have done it. In the middle of a tower, they give us another tower. In the middle of a brand new day, while we're still working, trying to complete week 2 of that, now they have brought back the Omega hard and easy versions of the Symbiote Quicksilver tower. For you guys who maybe were not able to unlock him the first go around, that is back. So now we have 2 towers going, guys. And for me personally, we are in Battle World right now, so I have we also have Maestro. So a lot going on for my crew right now. So I'm going to try and pump this video out. I'm also going to try and get a Maestro video. My last run on that was like 3.2 billion, 3.4 billion, something like that, which isn't great, but it's it's not bad by any means. It's it's pretty decent. I guess it's where I should be. I should be a little bit higher than that actually with my TCP, but anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna take a look at the first 10 floors of the Omega Symbiote Tower again for any of you guys who may need the shards. I needed a few to get me over 300, so now I'm finally at 1 diamond. Hopefully I can get to the 2 diamond milestone. I'm almost to Speedball's 3 diamond, so I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, let's take a look at the tower. So as you guys can see, I've already ran through this. I like to do these little videos after I've run through, because sometimes I'll try to explain who I want to use in a node, and sometimes it'll throw me and I don't get to use them. So I don't want to tell you something wrong to begin with. So I started doing these videos after I've run through whatever it is I'm breaking down and walking through for you guys. So just a little breakdown here real quick. I try to do these videos as free to play as possible. Excuse me. I know for some of you guys, you may not have some of the newer characters, full Symbiote 6 or some of the Amazing Avengers, the new Eternals. Some of you guys still may not, be able to have Professor X yet, or Odin, or Mephisto, or whatever, what have you. So I try to run these as close to free to play as I possibly can. With these early levels, it's usually not that bad. When you get into the higher ones, the last 3rd week, 4th week, I mean, these are Omega towers, so if you're going to run Omega, you're going to run max difficulty. You kind of need to have some of those pay to play characters. So just kind of keep that in mind. I try to run these as free to play or as close to it as I can. I did run Professor X in, I think it was 9, but I'll give you a couple alternatives to that one when we get to it. It's just sad that I can't see the enemies anymore now that I've defeated. That sucks. But anyway, for 1, I know I already have a walkthrough up, a visual as far as a written guide. I'm pretty sure up on Discord for people that are in my alliance and in our cluster. I also have them on Facebook, the Marvel Strike Force Facebook page. I don't know if you'd be able to find them or not, but links to the walkthroughs are on there as well. But and the last time that I did this, I used Thunderbolts. I wanted to kind of play around with I have 4 of the 5 Eternals now, and I have Gilgamesh leveled gear tier 20, 110. He doesn't have any red diamonds yet, so I'm waiting on that. Actually, I'm sorry. Yes, he does. He does have red diamonds now. I got them last night. So I ran to start with Eternals in this first node, and then in the same video right before I won the node, when I got down to the last character, almost killed, I quit and restart and ran it with Thunderbolts, because I know a lot of you guys probably don't have Gilgamesh. You may not have Kingo yet. But I did use a full regular Eternal, not Timeless. I threw in Hyperion in that first one because he is also classified as an Eternal. But then, like I said, once I almost beat it, I quit, and then I went back and I ran it with Thunderbolts. It's basically the same. That one's pretty simple. You just want to focus on Black Widow first, Black Widow, Hawk, and Hawkeye, and Hulk. Those are your three that you want to keep your main focus on. Keep them controlled. And in this, you don't get to reuse these teams per section, but they do cool down and they reset for the next section. So with all these nodes, most of them you can pretty much use all abilities from the beginning. Some you want to maybe try and save for a second wave, but there's really not too many that have a second wave in this first section. So yeah, number 2, I used Vigilante. Sable, we use her ult. Hitman, you want to try and keep them on Peggy so that you can stun her, and then pretty much focus on Cap and Black Knight. Start using basics when you only have 2 or 3 guys left, so you can stock up for that second wave. This is one of the few that does. Second wave, you want to focus on Thor, and then until Nova takes his turn. After he takes his turn, and you want to kind of switch and focus on him. But with Vigilante, that second node should not cause you a problem. None of these first 10 really should. These are all fairly easy. Like I said, the first section of this tower isn't too bad. So 3, I ran Immortal Weapons. Again, that one is pretty self-explanatory. You just want to make sure whenever Iron Fist World War II, whenever his turn comes up, you want to make sure you use his ultimate on Black Cat and stun her. If she gains speed bar and she starts rolling, she's a pain in the ass. So yeah, Immortal Weapons for 3. For 4, I did Insidious 6, Vulture, and Shocker, full Insidious 6 team. That one's pretty easy. APOC is here, and then you also have a Shaw here as well. Shaw is going to spawn with Taunt. You're going to have to kind of deal with that a little bit, but with your area of effect attacks and things like that, Vulture, once he takes his ultimate, he rewinds and pretty much resets the speed bar for everybody. And then once you have control, it's again, pretty simple. For 5, went the wrong way. I'm not playing Spider-Man here. For 5, I used the core Fantastic Four MCU, along with Quasar and Blastar. Pretty self-explanatory. Remember, you just want to kind of use Blastar special. It continues to feed assist, passive assist. And then you don't want to try and put Blastar around Quasar just in case, because Quasar usually does get targeted a lot in the beginning. So you don't want to lose both of them. If you lose one with the other core Fantastic Four members, you should be okay. But if you lose both of them, even if you do lose both of them, your core Fantastic Four 3, to be honest, if you can get past Emma and Shadow King, and you have your Fantastic Four core left, I think you're okay, to be honest. Shadow King and Emma being your biggest threats on that one. 6, I used Shadow Conclave. Full team there. Really, really simple. I did not do it. I actually placed Sylvie behind Thanos. But the key, or one of the keys to this, is to place Thanos in the middle and then put Executioner and High Evolutionary on either side of him in the back. That way he feeds them energy every time there's a kill. And then Sylvie and Malekith on the outsides. But for some reason, I guess whenever I picked my team, I didn't pay attention and I thought I had it saved that way, but Sylvie was behind Thanos along with Executioner. So, but still, that node was no problem. Executioner at one point took like 3 turns. He ended up clearing the last few villains or last few enemies. Not a bad node at all there. 7, I used Omen, and then I brought in Null instead of Obsidian Coal. I used Null on that one. Pretty simple. You just want to make sure that you can try and get Zombie Juggernaut out as quickly as possible. After that, Ares and Hela are your biggest threats. So once you clear them, then you're pretty much home free. But with Omen and with Null, that one, make sure you use Carnage. Use Null Special to spawn Carnage. By that time, you probably should already have 1 or 2 guys in the red, so you'll gain speed bar immediately. So you should gain control of the match fairly quickly in that one. So then we'll look at 8. And again, guys, I know you guys can't see the villains that you're facing. You will when you get to the videos, obviously. But I've already completed them. So, but I do have all these things kind of in my notes that I keep. I keep tons and tons of notes on all these things. So for 8, again, I try to keep this as close to free to play as I can. But for 8, I did use Professor X. I used Phoenix Force, Professor X, and then Old Man Logan. You can really use any powerful mutant there instead of Old Man Logan. I just prefer to use him. He does usually die pretty early, but as long as he can get his special off, he does a lot of help. You can bring in Shadow King there instead of Old Man Logan. He probably is a better choice, as he gains a lot of passive attacks. If you want to try and do this without Professor X, he's kind of crucial because of Skrull, Super Skrull in this one. In these towers, Skrull hardly ever takes damage. He's hard as crap to beat. So Professor X is kind of a key member on this one. However, with your other, your Phoenix Force, and then if you say bring in Shadow King instead of Old Man Logan, and then maybe Apocalypse instead of Professor X, you should have Apocalypse. It may be a little bit tougher, may take you a little bit longer. I think you should still be able to beat it if you can maybe focus on Skrull with that initial secondary attack from your APOC. Try to keep focus on him in the beginning, maybe as much as you can until he gains stealth, which he will after I think once he gets to 50%, I believe he gains stealth. And it's like once he gets to stealth and comes out of it, he takes no damage. So, but yeah, again, I ran it with Professor X, Phoenix Force, and Old Man Logan. You can sub in Shadow King for Old Man Logan. It's probably the better choice. And then if you want to keep this free to play and not use Professor X, if you don't have him, again, APOC is a decent choice there. Or, I mean, if that doesn't work, you can just try and plug and play some of your bigger mutants. Havoc, maybe. He has a pretty good ultimate in the beginning. I can't think off the top of my head. Let me see. Home. Because you want that mutant because it synergizes with everybody else. So let's see. Alright, so we look at our mutant. Let's see, at this point you will already have used, well, you haven't yet, but you will use Storm, Wolfsbane. You'll use New Mutant and Exalted in the next 2. So I mean, you do still have a few other, I do. Shaw, Jean Grey might not be bad there. You're already using, you haven't used any Emmas. You can bring in an Emma there to maybe gain speed up. Maybe you can try and get ahead ahead of the scroll, possibly. Like I said, APOC is a decent choice. Maybe you can, if you can get rid of, if there's anybody with taunt, possibly you can hit scroll with that secondary from Apocalypse. I mean, but yeah, I mean it can be done without Professor X. You don't have to use Professor X. He just makes it extremely easy. But yeah, I used him in the first one, and then before I realized that I was already done the first time through, so he was already in my notes to use here. Again, I just made a note to kind of let you guys know if you want to use free to play who you might could possibly go with there. So that's 8. So then 9, you're going to use New Mutant. You can do this where you don't have to worry about Sentry's attacks, really. Use Angel as a healer, I'm pretty sure. And he basically debuffs almost everybody after every individual attack. So not area of effect attacks. If one of your members like individually gets attacked, he will like clear them. So but yeah, you can try and save Sentry and Shaw until they're your last 2, and then you can control Sentry to where you can keep him kind of speed down. He did attack me twice. He used his special and his ultimate, but it didn't do that much damage. And then for that one, like I said, you want to try and save Sentry and Shaw for last. Focus on Azazel, Quicksilver, and obviously Damon Hellstorm first. Although I do believe Damon will get his ult off before you'll be able to attack him, but if you should be able to take him out before he gets his special off. And then for 10, I used Exalted. If you don't use Exalted, if you don't use Old Man Logan in 8, if you use Shadow King or somebody else, you can bring in Old Man Logan here for Morph. It just seems like Morph, sometimes he doesn't do much in this node originally, or maybe I didn't have him the first time through. I don't really know why I have a note Old Man Logan for Morph if necessary. But as you can see in the video, I use Morph. The full Exalted team kicked ass. So yeah, once you use Storm's ultimate, you pretty much have control after about 2 or 3 more moves after that. Possibly a little bit of RNG involved in that one, but you want to focus on Captain Britain first until he takes his ultimate. Once he takes his ultimate, you can kind of chill out. If you can possibly get rid of him before he takes his ultimate, then great. If not, once he uses his ult, you can kind of chill out on him. And then Omega, Gambit, and Shadow King are your main 3 that you need to focus on after that. Obviously, always with Phoenix, you always want to try and save her for last. Make sure you get rid of Omega before Phoenix, before you respawn Phoenix. Otherwise, he will respawn. Alright, so that's the first 10, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Thanks for stopping by. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to see or try and do videos on. So catch you on the next one. Appreciate it.